Most people think being poor is about not earning enough money, but that's not how it usually works. In reality, many people stay financially stuck even after their income increases. They get better jobs, earn more than their parents ever did, yet somehow feel more stressed, more dependent on their salary, and more afraid of losing everything. The reason isn't obvious. It's not a big mistake or a dramatic failure. It's a collection of small, quiet habits that feel normal, look harmless, and are rarely questioned. These habits don't shout, they whisper, and over time, they quietly decide your financial future. If you work hard, get paid regularly, and still feel like money never truly moves in your favor, this video is for you. Not because you're careless or irresponsible, but because modern life trains people to make decisions that feel comfortable in the moment while slowly keeping them trapped. Society rewards spending, normalizes debt, and celebrates appearance over stability. So most people assume they're doing fine until years pass and nothing has really changed. Same pressure, same worries, just with a few upgrades and more responsibilities. This video is not about becoming rich overnight, taking risky bets, or following motivational hype. It's about awareness, about noticing the everyday behaviors that slowly drain financial progress without triggering any alarms. The kind of habits that don't feel like mistakes because everyone does them. By the end of this video, you want to just think about money differently. You lines recognize patterns in your own life that may have been silently working against you. And once those patterns become visible, they lose their power. That's where real change begins. The first habit that quietly keeps people poor is confusing comfort with success. When someone finally gets a stable job and a regular salary, it feels like they've made it. Bills are paid on time, weekends are relaxed, and life feels predictable. But comfort can be deceptive. It removes urgency. Once survival is no longer a problem, growth often stops. People stop asking hard questions about their future because today feels manageable. The job becomes an identity, not a tool. Over time, routines solidify, risks feel unnecessary, and learning slows down. Comfort creates a false sense of safety that masks long-term vulnerability. The danger isn't poverty today, it's stagnation tomorrow. Years pass quickly when life is comfortable, and by the time people realize nothing has changed financially, responsibilities are heavier and options feel limited. Comfort doesn't feel like a trap because it doesn't hurt. It feels like stability, but stability without progress slowly becomes a ceiling. The second habit is lifestyle inflation without awareness. When income increases, expenses quietly follow. A slightly better phone, more subscriptions, frequent food delivery, a nicer car, or bigger house. None of these decisions feel irresponsible on their own. In fact, they often feel deserved. The problem is that money is being used to upgrade consumption instead of building freedom. Every raise gets absorbed into a more expensive version of the same life. Savings don't grow. Investments don't start. Financial pressure remains the same, just at a higher level. People feel richer but not safer. This creates a cycle where earning more doesn't bring peace, only new obligations. Lifestyle inflation is dangerous because it hides behind normalcy. Everyone around you is doing the same thing, so it feels right. But over time, it locks people into needing their income instead of controlling it. The third habit is avoiding money conversations altogether. Many people don't know where their money actually goes. They don't track expenses, review bank statements, or plan ahead. Not because they can't, but because it feels uncomfortable. Money conversations bring anxiety, guilt, or fear, so people avoid them. They assume things will work out somehow. In families, money is often treated as a sensitive or even taboo topic. Couples avoid discussing finances deeply until problems arise. Individuals avoid numbers because facing reality feels stressful. But ignoring money doesn't make problems disappear, it allows them to grow quietly. What you don't measure, you can't improve. Financial clarity is uncomfortable at first, but confusion is far more expensive in the long run. Awareness is not about restriction, it's about control. Avoidance keeps people reactive instead of intentional. The fourth habit is trading time for money forever. Most people are taught that working harder is the solution to financial problems. More hours, more effort, more overtime. But time is limited. When income is directly tied to hours worked, growth has a ceiling. If you don't work, you don't earn. This creates constant dependency on being physically present and constantly available. There's no leverage, no system working in the background. Over time, fatigue increases and opportunities decrease. People become trapped in maintaining income rather than building something that can grow independently. This doesn't mean everyone must become an entrepreneur overnight, but it does mean understanding the limits of linear income. Financial freedom doesn't come from working endlessly, it comes from building value that isn't tied to every hour of your day. The fifth habit is short-term thinking. Many financial decisions are made to feel good now, not to improve the future. Easy installments, quick loans, impulsive purchases, and instant gratification are normalized. The cost is delayed, so the pain feels small. But small future costs stacked together become heavy burdens. Short-term thinking is encouraged everywhere from advertising to social pressure. People are taught to prioritize convenience and pleasure over patience. Long-term planning feels boring, uncertain, or unnecessary. But wealth is built through delayed gratification. Choosing later over now isn't about sacrifice, it's about direction. Every decision either makes the future easier or harder. Short-term thinking keeps people constantly solving today's problems instead of preparing for tomorrow. The sixth habit is copying broke social norms. Most people take financial advice from their environment, not from results. If everyone around you lives paycheck to paycheck, debt feels normal. If no one talks about investing or saving, it feels unnecessary. Humans are wired to fit in. Being financially different feels risky, even when being normal is clearly not working. People repeat phrases like, "This is just how life is," without questioning them. But normal doesn't mean smart. Social proof can be misleading when the crowd is struggling. Progress often requires doing things that feel uncomfortable, unpopular, or misunderstood. Following the crowd might protect you socially, but it often costs you financially. The seventh habit is consuming more than creating. Modern life is designed for consumption content, entertainment, opinions, and inspiration. People spend hours watching others succeed, learn, and build, while their own output remains zero. Consumption feels productive because it stimulates the mind, but without action, nothing changes. Knowledge without application becomes entertainment. Scrolling replaces thinking, watching replaces building. Creation, on the other hand, feels uncomfortable. It requires effort, risk, and exposure. But creating even something small builds skills, confidence, and opportunity. The gap between consumers and creators widens over time. One group stays informed, the other builds leverage. And that difference compounds quietly, just like habits do. All of these habits don't mean you're lazy or careless. They're subtle, normal, and often invisible, and that's exactly why they work. The truth is, most people aren't stuck because they make huge mistakes. They're stuck because of small daily choices repeated over years without noticing. The good news is that awareness is the first step. Once you see these patterns in your own life, you can change them. You can start taking control instead of letting habits control you. Change doesn't have to be dramatic or overnight. Even small shifts in how you think, spend, and plan can compound into real financial freedom over time. If this video helped you spot habits that may have been quietly holding you back, take a moment today to reflect on one habit you can change immediately. And if you want to uncover more truths about money, how it really works, and how your mind might be keeping you from building wealth, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. On Money Uncovered, we break down the hidden patterns, mental traps, and everyday mistakes that keep most people financially stuck even when they're earning a good salary. So don't wait. Start noticing, start changing, and let your money finally start working for you instead of the other way around. Remember, awareness is power, and your financial future begins with the choices you make today. Subscribe to Money Uncovered and join thousands of others who are taking control of their money. one habit at a time.